Hey guys, so after coming home and relaxing with GFB, good fucking buddy, for a while, I got on the internet and realized that some of you wanted a little more information about my cylinder heads, and other places that I've posted on Facebook and whatnot have indicated that I might have something going on kind of funky. So even though the motor's done, I pulled the cylinder head back off, loosened up all the valves, got the push rod checker out, and we're going to dive into this thing just a little bit deeper to make sure it's correct. So one of the things that I'm not nuts about is these guide plates that I got. I forget who I got them from now. But I went ahead and I ordered up a set of comp cams, and here's where I've left off. Is I've put in the comp cam one. This is my push rod measuring tool. And I already turned the valves through one time. And you can see this is for a standard push rod. And that's with the push rod being 100 thou taller. So that's like 780 there. This is 790 right here. And I went ahead and rotated the motor through one time. And this is how the roller is riding on top of the valve, which looks okay. And for all of you guys that are new or don't know, these are the cheapest eBay heads you could buy. They got 202 160 valves in them, and they flow 200 CFM or CCs or CFM, whatever it is. I'm tired. I've been up since 4 a.m. this morning. They're 65 cc chamber heads. They are eBay. They are no name. They are Chinese. I bought them because I don't have a lot of money to dump into this truck, and this truck just keeps on getting more and more expensive as I get into it. And I'll tell you, there's a couple spots where I did spend a little bit more money just because I wanted to make sure that at least one part was bulletproof, like the transmission. So backstory is that I had a long talk with Jags, and when it boiled right down to it, and I told him what this build was all about, he directed me to this other eBay kit that was all the valve train hardware in it. So is what I got now is I got plus 100 length valves in the truck, or in the motor, and I'm using a 1:6 ratio roller rocker with a comp cams mechanical solid lifter cam. The mechanical solid lifter cam was a 525 lift on the intake and exhaust, and I knew that after this motor was all said and done, I was going to have 20 thou of lash in the rockers. So is what I did is that's why I bought the 1:6 ratio rockers. So now my actual total lift is 540 lift in it after doing the math. And for those of you that don't know how to do the math, standard ratio rocker is a 1.5. So you take the standard 525, you divide it by 1.5, and then you multiply it by 1.6, and that will give you your actual lift. And so this should be pretty freaking rowdy after it's all done. But let's jump into, and I'll show you where I'm at now with making sure that my rocker arm geometry is set up to be correct. And right now I got number one cylinder top dead center, and I'm gonna roll the motor over, and we're going to watch the rocker. I'm going to film it because it's hard to roll the motor over and watch at the same time to make sure, A, I got enough valve spring clearance, and B, that my roller tip on my rocker is pretty much aligning on the valve. I don't want it to be one way or the other. Now, there's lots of stuff out there on the internet, and when you dive deep into it, you have to think about it. Your rocker arm has the best mechanical advantage when it's at 90 degrees. So do you want that 90 degrees when the valve is closed, or do you want that 90 degrees to happen when the valve is open? Because that is when it's going to have, the push rod is going to generate, well, the cam pushes the push rod up and it generates at 90 degrees the most amount of torque to push your valve down or open your valve at 90 degrees. So my thought process is, as springs compress, they get stiffer and stiffer and stiffer. So that means at the end of, or just about the end, maybe like 3/4 of the way through its stroke, that's where I want to see it hitting like 89 degrees or 90 degrees, because that's where it's going to have its most mechanical advantage. If you were to do it, let's say if you were to set it up with at 90 degrees to your if you were to set the rocker up at 90 degrees with the valve closed, now when it's pushing, it's actually coming down, and you have to think about the center of your rocker, and this is just a fulcrum. So at 90 degrees right now, when it comes down, it's pushing down here, and it doesn't have as much leverage as it does up here. So if it starts like this and then it comes down and it sweeps through on your valve stem, you want it to be you want it to be within the center line of your valve stem. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to check to make sure my rockers are good. I wasn't happy with the other guide plates that I got. I had to file them to even get 5/16 push rods to fit. I really want to do so I'm going to have to swap all out for comp cams, and I just wanted to make sure that all you guys knew what exactly is going on with this motor, so that way if you want, you can duplicate it and you can go racing. Yeah, let's get into it. So this is my oil pressure sending unit real quick. It threads into there. I sealed up the hole with silicone, and I had to relieve the intake manifold just a little bit so that this would fit in there. I got to clean this all up, vacuum it, either vacuum it or blow it all off, remove the silicone, which will come out all as one piece, and then thread that in there with some silicone right there so it doesn't leak. But I just wanted to cover that real quick. So we're going to start with the exhaust. We're going to add a little new green paint to it. Right there. We're going to get our calipers out, because I have an idea and I don't know if it's going to work. Calibrate them to 0. Why couldn't I measure from this lip here down to the surface of the head, and then let the valve come all the way down with the rocker, just to verify that I have 540 thou of lift? I don't see why I couldn't do that. So right now we're going to measure this. And right now that measures 1.937. So we're going to grab a rocker, throw it on there, make sure it's snug. Oh, we need a push rod too. We're going to try my factory here. I think these are factory. I don't know what they actually are. 780 rods. Found the cup there. Oops, sorry guys. We already painted it too, so now we can already see where it's positioned at on it. Got the luxury of using cameras. So right now it's on top dead center of the compression stroke. So for me to get the exhaust to run through, now see it's still a little bit loose. So let's back off this lock, half a turn, run it down. All right, now it's tight. Well, snug. We don't need to go crazy with it. Now we're going to rotate it over. Should have to rotate it through 2 times to see what that does. And I want to stop when it's on its compression, or when the valve's open. Oh, got my flywheel marked. So there, that should be right now. It just hit bottom dead center. And that's about max lift right there. So let's measure that difference. Now where did I put the daggone calipers? There they are. I said my first number was 1937. So we'll measure this. Whoops. Let's make sure it's zeroed. Okay, it's zeroed out. Okay, we got that. 1384. So that's really close. Oh, never have a piece of paper when I need one. So 1.937, 1.384. Let's do the math on that. Should come out to be like 540. Okay, so the calculator says it's 553 thou lift. So we know we're there par on our lift. Now the question is, where is the push rod and rocker geometry? Does it look like it's 90 degrees to the valve? Not quite. It looks like it needs to be just a little bit. So the way we could change, well, no, it looks like it's past it, really. We're going to have to take this off, and we're probably going to have to draw a center line through here, through there to really see it. But, I mean, if I had to eyeball, let's get a straight edge. You know, if you just had to straight edge it, center through center, that right there actually looks pretty damn close. I mean, I don't know what you guys would see through the camera lens, but so what I'm doing is getting a straight line 90 degrees, or a straight line through here, and that almost looks like it's 90 degrees to the valve stem. So what that probably means is that I'm probably going to need 100 plus or 100 thou longer push rods just to get that extra little bit. So I just popped the rocker off, and as you can see, the marks in green are not quite making it to the exhaust. I call it the exhaust half of the valve. So with the 100 with your push rods being 100 thou longer, it's going to start it just a little bit lower, and it's going to rock it all the way through the top of the valve stem. That being said, I think 100 thou longer push rods is going to be my answer to making this motor good. And you know what? I might be completely wrong. It's not the first time I've been wrong, or wouldn't be the first time I've been wrong. And if it blows up, it blows up. It's like, oh my gosh, big deal. I just threw away like $1,200. But I don't think it's going to. I think I got it machined right. I'll tell you what though, with the setup that it's got in there now and the high lift, it is tight turning over. Those springs are tight, but I have plenty of spring clearance, so hell, I could even go with a bigger cam in there, I think. Maybe I will. Who knows? Oh, and real quick, I just wanted to show you guys my ratchet shifter. I worked on this baby for a good while. I picked it up for 75 bucks off of a Facebook Marketplace, and as of right now, the whole doggone thing's working. Let me show you. So we got park, we shift, boom, we got reverse, we got neutral. Now this is the tricky one. It's actually 1, 2, 3. This is a reverse, or the transmission that I got's a reverse valve body. So 2, 3. Wait a minute. Let's go from 2, 3. Then I have to grab up on this, and I can go to park if I wanted to. But that being said, thanks for watching my videos. I know I don't know everything. Comment down below if you saw me do something seriously wrong, because if I did do something seriously wrong, I'd rather know about it now before I actually stuff the engine in and try to run it down the track. Other than that, thanks for sharing my videos, and hey, maybe someday we'll see you out on the track. Automotive Specialty Group, or Specialties, whatever you call yourself, Chris.